Don't you hate it when I get so we get so enthused by the intro? This is the one time that I forgot to just put us all on here before it even popped up.
Yeah.
That's a first. That's a first.
It happens.
It's all good. Welcome to a newsworthy installment of Tag Me In, where the triple threat brain trust go over the good, the bad, and everything in between in the world of professional wrestling. I, of course, am the unofficially official Lib Dizzle, joined with none other than the less than stealthy unicorn himself. The Scooter Hawk monster, hailing all the way up from the Scootical, Mr. ScooterRay.
EBD, everybody. EBD.
Of course. Ladies of the IWC.
Wait. He's even giving y'all some thigh today. He's even hitting you with some thigh action.
Oof. Love it. Enjoy it.
Gotta love
it. Embrace it. Bask in it.
Bask.
The heartthrob of your community, Mr. Jaeger Bombastic. So fantastic that if it wasn't for the newsworthy episode that we had today, you'd probably get a nice view of that shirtless back.
I mean, the night is still young. But first and foremost,
don't tease
Red Velvet. Hey, Red Velvet, saw you on Dark. Y'all, she debuted a new finisher.
Oh, really?
It looks.
You
sexy.
did say that on the review.
It was like MVP used to do it. Randy Orton, I think McIntyre used to do it. It looks like but the way she sets it up, it looks like a scissor kick, but then she hooks the scissor kick and turns it into like some sort of a DDT. It almost looks like.
Oh, I have to see this.
Randy Orton, I think did it. MVP did it. And
the overdrive and the play.
There you go. That's what it was like. It was like the overdrive. I mean, she made it look good, and she took to Twitter trying to find a name for it. And one of them was from the fans was called Just Desserts. Another one was called Stir It Up. There were some good ideas in there. Hopefully she picks one of them. That'd be nice.
She should call it the flavor of Jaeger.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, flavor of Jaeger.
I think my personal favorite, not including that one, was Recipe for Disaster.
That's not a bad.
Oh. Yeah. I'm of course I'm gonna check it out. It's Red Velvet, obviously.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But we said on NXT recap and review that what some of you were looking for wasn't there. That's because it's here. They ain't got shit to do with NXT. They ain't got shit to do with WWE. A little bit of it does. But the meat and potatoes of this story falls under the AEW banner.
Yes.
Because Tony Khan and AEW are making some mother effing moves. Scoot, I'm gonna leave it up to you, bro.
Are you pointing to the
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Yes. These are yes. Could you be referring to who I think you are referring to? Is that one Daniel Bryan we're talking about?
AKA.
Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him, has reportedly, if it's not official, it's going to be official. He is going to be signing with AEW. Mm-hmm. Now, there's been more to the story, as I've heard today before we got on. Apparently, their relationship with New Japan was a big factor of the reason why he's going with AEW. And the reports are saying they want him to debut in that Queen show. That was that September 22nd show.
Mm-hmm.
So most likely he will probably be debuting on that episode of Dynamite. But apparently Daniel Bryan, the one, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, apparently is going to be signing with AEW.
And this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. Mainly, and before I begin to that, I alluded to this a long time ago when we talked about the whole WWE having talks with New Japan. And I had stated that I felt like this was a ploy to get Daniel Bryan to sign again. And for me, this solidifies that because if you're trying to keep Daniel Bryan and his talking points for trying to branch out and do stuff in New Japan makes so much sense. So if he wanted to work in New Japan, if he's not going to go to Japan to do this, because of course he has his family, the next best scenario in this is to go to AEW or Impact or Ring of Honor because they have relationships with New Japan. AEW makes the most sense money-wise because, of course, just like Scoot said, there are parameters within this for why he supposedly signed with AEW. You get the same amount of money that you're getting paid from WWE, if not more. Plus, you work less days, which means with AEW being a family-oriented company, everybody's having their time. Everybody gets to spend time with their families, their kids, so on and so forth. This is perfect.
And plus, too, he's also in a beautiful spot of his career. He doesn't even need to be there every week.
No.
Not at all. And of course, this works in his favor. He can basically ride off the end of his career, ride off into the sunset, working where he started in the independents. He can still work for a major company, but now he has the freedom to go everywhere else and to have these classics of matches with notable names and give everybody else these 5, 6, 7, possibly 8-star matches at the very end of his career. He doesn't need to do this, but he loves it. And this is perfect. This is perfect for him. So yeah, I don't even think it's a supposed. I honestly do think everything is correct. I think he has signed.
I think so too. I think it's just a matter of do they want to announce it or do they want to keep it coy, as in did he not,
I think situation. I think because AEW hasn't said anything, and I don't think they are, because you get a lot of the dirt sheets that's saying it. Because I believe Sean Ross Sapp was the one that was reported to have known this first.
Well, actually, no. Apparently, there was another guy. There was another guy, I think, who said it first.
No. Sean Ross Sapp had known about it.
Okay, I was about to say, because I know there was another guy who said it, and many people was kind of questioning, his validity. And then, but of course, too many people now have been reporting it. So either this is one great ass swerve, or Bryan Danielson is part of AEW.
Well, what I think that now since everything had came out, I think now that they've released the potential time frame of when he's going to start, I think that's more telling for the fact that if they give out the date ahead of time, they're not going to be asking for Bryan at every show. They're going to be anticipating this New York show for him to pop up. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that one. fucking amazing.
I think just to go back slightly,
Mhm.
even it'll capitalize even more so about him working with independent talent because as we'll get into later, some independent talent seem to be coming to the show, maybe not signed, and of course now we're getting a lot more New Japan presence. Although it was a slower build than I would have liked, it's starting to get there.
Yeah.
Yes. Now,
also later in the show,
there is a part 2 to this story.
Oh, but before we get to that, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I was watching Dynamite last night, albeit a little late, because like Lip, I like to fast forward through these commercials. And I was at about 9 o'clock, and I still had about, 20 minutes of show left. And I caught it on my Twitter saying, like, Daniel Bryan is all elite. And I was just like, did I just spoil the end of Dynamite here? Is he gonna run? Like I was in a frantic mode, like, oh my god, what is about to happen? But I'm happy with the results of tonight, which we'll get into. Now, there, as Scoot just mentioned, there was a part 2 to this news.
Now, apparently, there's another wrestler who has been training for an in-ring comeback. And the wrestler is rumored to go ahead and sign with AEW as well. And that wrestler, the Second City Saint, the master of the pipe bombs, Mr. himself, Mr. Cult of Personality, CM Punk, is finally supposed to be returning to the ring. Now, to tease the fans even more, All Out is in Chicago. Am I right?
You are correct.
Now,
it is already sold out.
Chicago Bulls is known to have a very famous theme song for the arena. And he posted that theme song in his IG stories.
Oh.
So either Punk is doing some trolling or there could be a little bit of validity to this.
Now, guys, you know what this means.
What's that?
We could possibly get AJ Lee back in the ring.
That's another possibility.
That is another possibility.
Anyway,
I've come on here and I've pretty much just canceled all belief that Punk was going to come back. Matter of fact, I said it a few weeks ago where I was like, we need to just dead that shit in the water now because he's not coming back.
It's been trolled since AEW's debut.
Right? Now, correct. And now once I heard this stuff about Punk in talks to possibly sign either again with WWE or to, sign with AEW, there was still a lot of skepticism. Mm-hmm. But the moment that this Daniel Bryan story came out, then my ears perked up a little bit because then they start talking about Chicago, which of course everybody would always want Punk in Chicago. They thought about it the last time, they assumed that was going to happen then. But you think about what Punk has talked about in terms of storyline, in terms of creative, in terms of impact, not the wrestling promotion, the actual word impact. Punk has always in himself wanted to be part of something big, and nothing has been big enough for him to just, make waves. Daniel Bryan signing to AEW and getting more eyes on him, because this, of course, will be the biggest signing in AEW outside of Punk. So when you pair these two together, and the fact that they haven't really talked about Punk as much as they have talked about Bryan makes so much sense, because Bryan for New York, Punk for Chicago, which is going to happen first. They keep saying that it's not finalized. I do believe that. But I also believe that Punk signing with AEW is going to come to fruition because at this point right now, the fans in AEW, because they want to make this move, desperately want Punk. So Punk is in a favorable position as far as negotiations go. So he can basically write his own ticket. Anybody who's in that position right now, one, with the impact that it's going to make, two, being able to basically call your shots and make your own demands for them to write you a blank check for whatever the fuck it is that you want would be idiotic to pass up. And Punk knows that. Punk is going to be in Chicago, and he's going to start the way because everybody's going to be focused on Daniel Bryan. They're going to be focused on Punk in Chicago, obviously. But once it happens, that's going to be the first shot, not fired at WWE, just in fired in the wrestling world, because that's going to make waves. And then to double back or to piggyback off of that with Daniel Bryan coming into AEW, WWE will be in trouble. Not NXT, WWE.
Now, I'm glad you just said that. With the news that's happening, what do y'all think Vince is thinking?
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
I think they're paying attention, but I don't think that they're really doing anything yet outside. I mean, they're probably talking to Punk.
Yeah.
I believe that Punk is the type of person that's going to entertain the thought of it for now. Because he's cheeky like that. Bryan is a done deal. Bryan's not. Bryan, they had their chance when they were trying to get New Japan. That was a time where they were trying to talk to Bryan. They couldn't do that. Bryan was like, I'm not worried about it. I've already made my decision over here. I'm pretty sure Bryan signed a long time ago.
I wouldn't be surprised. But you know, the way my brain thought of this, honestly, I don't think Vince cares.
I do. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that.
Care to a certain extent. Care with an asterisk. I think he cares if Bryan and Punk signs, but I think the way Vince's mind and brain works is I had their best moments in my company. Yeah, they can create new moments over there, but I have the pipe bomb. I have the money in the bank win. When Punk took the belt, you know, I have the yes movement. I have the planet's champion. I have the speech he made when he was able to come back to wrestling. I have all of this. They can get whatever is left. I have the good shit.
So to speak. Because with all the theatrics. Go ahead, Jaeger.
Which kind of furthers my thinking on Punk. Like, albeit he probably will entertain it, Lip. But if Mr. Pipe Bomb's looking at the way WWE is run right now, I don't see him going to WWE.
No, not at all. Not at all. My thing is this, and I'm glad you said that, Scoop, because this piggybacks off of that. Yeah, they had those entertaining moments, but the thing is with both Punk and Bryan, because they both are in the same boat outside of them being in the talking point of this. These two are pure professional wrestlers.
Yes, they are.
They care more about what happens in the ring rather than the theatrics and the promos and all this stuff. They care about what they do bell to bell. They're not even gonna look at WWE as a factor. They're not like, I mean, you get Miro, you get Jericho, you get Cody, you'll probably get Aleister Black at a point where they'll throw jabs at WWE, NXT, whatever. Bryan and Punk aren't going to give a shit to do any of that.
No.
They're going to focus more on their creative and what they want to do individually as well as together.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to make the necessary shots that are going to hit them where it hurts. They're going to be like, hey, we're going to give you world-class matches. Top that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the promos. Fuck the storyline. Fuck this. We're going to give you world-class matches. Do you have that over there, or are you focused in the WWE style of wrestling?
I think they're focused on the WWE style. You got to think. I honestly, at this point, they're so far gone that. Okay, let me preface this. I was listening to the Jobbeteers podcast. Shout out to the Jobbeteers. They had Stevie Ray on there.
Okay.
And Stevie Ray was basically saying that Vince McMahon is such the businessman and the person he is in the ship that he runs. They're so far in that ship that this other shit don't matter, basically. That they focus on the entertainment. Basically, he was saying wrestlers back then were wrestlers trying to be actors. They seem more like actors trying to be wrestlers. Granted, yes, we know. Granted, we know there are mad people in the WWE system that can truly legit wrestle, but the entertainment part is the biggest name in their company. So yes, Punk, Bryan, Mox, Miro, whoever, they can go have these great ass matches. Okay, that's fine with us. That's what you wanted. That's what you're gonna. If that's what you want, you go over there and watch that. But you know what you're going to get over here. You know.
I mean, what?
So, right? But you know you're going to get this over here. If wrestling what you want, if you want your dream matches and all of that with Daniel Bryan and Cody or Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega and all that, fine, go ahead. You know, we have what we want and we're going to keep what we want. And if you really want the wrestling side of things, go watch NXT.
Yeah, I think they're going to be more focused on this being a like a temporary thing. Like it's going to be a hype moment for AEW, and then their thing is going to fizzle out. I don't see that mainly because I feel what we're going to get as far as on Daniel Bryan's side. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a whole bunch of matches for maybe like a good, 2, maybe 3 years. But I think Daniel Bryan is going to end up working as far as in a creative capacity for AEW, helping build up new stars because that's what he was doing in SmackDown. Punk, I have no fucking clue.
Right?
I couldn't even pretend to pinpoint what the fuck Punk would do. That's the X factor in all of this because it's like if Punk does sign, what's his role going to be moving forward? Now, if you would have said, all right, this is Punk signing to do this, but also to get AJ back in, then I'd be like, this makes sense. He's coming in for maybe like a year, getting that in, giving AEW the rub, but then having AJ Lee come in to completely elevate this women's division because we already know WWE was trying to get AJ back. And I would love to see AJ Lee back. Period.
Now,
yes.
Not to knock her professional career right now, but she's been pretty successful outside of the ring.
Yes, she has. Yes, she has.
And of course, not to take anything away from that, but
no, not at
AJ
all.
Lee, we need you back in the ring. We need that character back on the screen. But
I mean,
you can still keep doing what you're doing.
Let's just one time. AJ Lee though.
AJ Lee though. Hopefully, we get to do that more than one time.
Hopefully,
down the line.
Hopefully,
she was my pick out of that entire Divas era.
I mean, how could she have not been?
Very true.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, this I'm very intrigued. But I'm not going to harp on the excitement because I know that this is going, it's going to take time because we're only in July. We still got all the way to August, September.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because All Out is in September, and that New York show is late September. So yeah.
So we still got a whole month and a half to 2.5 months at this point before we even get to that. So there's a lot of AEW that's going to be happening in between then and now.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that because the worlds are starting to collide even more.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to discuss it on our Money in the Bank review, but since Mr. Yeager had to dip, we're going to discuss it now. Did you gentlemen get a chance to catch Slammiversary?
Partially.
Okay.
I got a good amount of it though.
Yeager, did you get a chance to catch Slammiversary?
Mainly watched the Omega match, to be fair.
Okay. Well, first things first, Good Brothers, as we saw on Wednesday night, the Good Brothers are back tag champs.
Mm-hmm.
Deonna Purrazzo had a mystery opponent, and her opponent turned out to be Thunder Rosa.
Which we will say congratulations to Thunder Rosa for finally being
congratulations to Thunder
all
Rosa
elite.
For being all elite. It was a mixed tag match. Brian Myers and Tenille Dashwood versus Matt Cardona and his mystery partner, none other than the hot mess, Chelsea Green.
Was she back to being the hot mess?
Yes.
Yes.
She was back to being the hot mess.
I like it. I like that gimmick.
And of course, you had the main event of Mickie James came out at the end of the Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa match, and she has been trying to invite Deonna to be a part of NWA Empower. They're all women's pay-per-view, so we'll see eventually what Deonna's response will be to that. But
I think she may have agreed to it already.
I know there was some stuff on Impact tonight where I think she asked her again.
Because the spoilers did. Yeah, there was a lot of spoilers that did release. Which there's some other stuff.
Another spoiler. I'm gonna say spoiler. We'll get to it in a second. We're gonna put this under the list of spots I wouldn't take. So there was a couple of spots during the Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan match. Spot number one, when Kenny Omega decided to dip his knee in all of the thumbtacks.
Yep.
And hit Sami Callihan with a V-trigger. No, sir. Then he got pissed because Callihan kicked out and decided to put a bunch of thumbtacks in his mouth. It hit him with a V-trigger. No, sir. No.
Then the fork came into play as well.
Yeah, no. No. We're gonna add those to spots that I don't think I'll take.
I got it.
Of course.
I can't help but think that Kenny dipping his knee in thumbtacks is going to be more painful to Kenny than it is to Sami Callihan.
Remember, he was dipping it with the pads.
True. Regardless, for both Sami, but in my opinion, more so Kenny. Just knee pads or not, man, those are digging in if you're hitting somebody in the face with them.
That is also true too. That is very much true.
However, Callahan taking a mouthful of thumbtacks and then getting V-triggered. Ah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I gotta jump on your ship there, man. I wouldn't take either of those.
Trust me, this.
I'm add this to the list.
Yeah, this ain't the first time that this list is going to come into play because
No.
Oh no, it's not.
This ain't the first time this list is coming into play. But of course, everybody was buzzing because of the end of the match. None other than Switchblade Jay White comes out. And Omega and the Good Brothers throw up the Too Sweet, and the show ends.
Well, there was like right before the show like cut off, they showed somebody trying to rush the ring.
They did.
Yeah, it was
Finjuice.
Finjuice, yeah.
And I got the people wrong. He hit the Blade Runner on Juice.
Yeah.
He hit the Blade Runner on Juice before, he dipped out the ring. Now, there was another interesting thing that happened during the pay-per-view. Hold on one second.
Well, I know one thing that did happen though, which was now the former Aiden English is on.
Yes.
In fact, as the Drama King Matt Morris.
The Drama King, yes, was teased, but there was a segment on the pay-per-view that Dashing Chris Bay had an interesting T-shirt in his locker room, and it was a Bullet Club T-shirt in his locker room.
There are definitely the spoilers released on that. So
to go ahead and officially let people know, Dashing Chris Bay does join the Bullet Club.
Yes.
So that is going down.
Yes.
Interesting.
That is official.
Yeah.
And it's crazy now that it's crazy because now I'm starting to see a lot of the planning unfold that with the seeds that AEW have been planning, because you think about the whole belt collector thing with Kenny. You think about, Mox defending the IWGP United States Championship in AEW. You think about the cross with Finjuice coming over to Impact. You think about all this shit going on. And now finally, we're starting to see shit along the same time that we see the whole Punk and Bryan stuff get introduced. And it's like,
there was more. Their next pay-per-view, Bound for Glory. That's in September or August. September, one or two. I can't remember which day. But I think it's Bound for Glory is their next pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. I know you looking it up.
Yep. It's in Vegas. October 23rd.
October. Okay, well, that pay-per-view, they teased AAA.
Yes.
They teased AEW and New Japan. All part of that pay-per-view. So that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds as well.
Yeah.
So, worlds are starting to collide here.
I feel like it's more so on Impact than anywhere else.
It is, which is weird, but
it definitely is weird. But I think at the same time they also need that rub because, again, even when I was coming on here before and I was saying, I was getting mad about the Kenny thing because I was like, well, what does Impact get out of this whole deal? Because it seems like they're getting the shit into the stick. But now it seems like all these established promotions are using their platform to push up Impact. So now I'm like, okay, now I can see what's going on. Now I see the rub that Impact is getting because now, since by association, it's going to become more. And it's crazy that we see that. Because the zombie promotion of the wrestling world cannot die. And now it's It's been given a heart transplant, a lung transplant, just everything. Blood transfusion.
All these transplants.
Crazy. Impact. I'm at this point. I'm not counting Impact / TNA out anymore.
No,
because they just refuse to die. So hopefully this helps them and they become prominent again. So we definitely will see on that shit. What else you got, Scoop?
As far as news goes, that was really all I had. I mean, of course, what could be bigger than Bryan Danielson and CM Punk potentially signing the AEW?
Yeah, for the wrestling world, I mean, it's good because we're going to get more on the collision course with everybody, especially with, like you said, worlds colliding. But it's also funny that you said worlds colliding, because T.A.G also had a world collision of its own.
Yes,
we did. So for those of you who haven't seen it already, because you probably should have, but if you hadn't seen it already, we had been talking about this whole campaign, DMD for T.A.G. Our goal was to probably get an interview. Eventually, that shit'll happen. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. But I wonder if I'm okay to say this. If I'm okay that I can be like, hey, friend of the show, Dr. Britt Baker.
Yep, officially, it's official.
Friend of T.A.G, Britt Baker.
It's official.
I think I can say that. I'm pretty sure I can say that. I don't think that she'd mind if I said that, because she is a friend of the show. I mean, for one, just for starters, if you didn't realize that, this is the first. This is the first of that, for one.
Oh man, who are those beautiful people?
Look at those beautiful people.
Look at those beautiful people. For starters, granted, we come on here and we praise Britt Baker all the time. I can't praise her any more than I'll praise her now, because fantastic promo, fantastic, just everything. But the person, fan-fucking-tastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. And on top of that, what's more fantastic than being endorsed by Miss Britt Baker? Not only that, being endorsed in her own special way.
Yes.
And for those of you who did not see it, allow me to end all that right now.
T.A.G.
My friend, no.
Oh, is that?
No.
Should we do it again? Should we do it again?
That was so nice. You got to say it twice, man.
You're right.
T.A.G.
Motherfucker.
No, you know what? I know twice. Twice is always nice.
Twice is always nice.
But a third always makes sure that it's heard. So
T.A.G.
that was for the triple threat. Brain trust. T.A.G.
Yep.
First off, I said it on Instagram, but again, huge thank you to Dr. Britt Baker for endorsing T.A.G and just for allowing us the time to have that moment, both the picture and the endorsement. Because of course she didn't have to do it, but she herself was more than happy to endorse the squad. So
yes,
again, thank you. That's one off the books. We coming after more. We're coming after more for sure. But it ain't gonna be Bibbins. But
you know what? Just for that,
little NXT shit.
I will try my best, my absolute best, to get Bivens to address this situation.
I'm sorry, Scoot. Who was that again?
Malcolm.
Oh,
it's not nice little
disrespect.
little NXT crossover for the one time, for the old
Bivens
time.
forever.
Bivens for never. But
Bivens.
Anyway, AEW had I don't know if I should say fantastic show, because there were still some things that I didn't like, but all in all, it was still a great fucking show from top to bottom. And with that, you know, we got started with the labors of Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
In what I like to call a one-sided chairs match.
It basically was.
Because Shawn Spears was able to use chairs, obviously, and Chris Jericho was not able to. Not much to this outside of two good old Canadian boys going at it. But, you know, the overall of this is, of course, the addition of MJF on commentary. This is continuing to get more and more interesting as it goes on. As far as one with the introduction, but with the inclusion of Sammy Guevara within this whole thing, because of course Jericho's feuding with MJF, but you have Sammy G involved in his feud with Shawn Spears, so that makes sense there. But he's still also, you know, like, hey, fuck MJF. Also, with in a way, it's also alluding to like their future, because of course you think about the guys is going to be at the top of this division or the top of the company later on. Sammy G, MJF, Ricky Starks, Hangman, Darby Allin, over and over and over. All these guys. Jungle Boy.
Excuse me.
Jungle Man. Gripping the leather.
Gripping leather. Creasing leather.
One day we'll have to say RIP to those cheeks, because
right, creasing leather.
But anyway, I digress. I'll be up here talking about NJ forever.
How do you feel about this match?
I think it was a good starter match for the labors of Jericho. I don't like Shawn Spears being used in this aspect. I mean, I get all of it. It makes sense. It's cool. But I felt like Shawn Spears should have been utilized elsewhere, especially if he's not going to be actively feuding with Sammy Guevara, like at the very, like they're not building to a match. Then I think he needs to be doing something else to kind of up his stock as like that psychotic, unhinged person within the Pinnacle.
Yes.
But all in all, I'm still not mad about these two going at it, because it's still cool. I mean, I'm glad that Shawn Spears is still getting TV time, but I still want him to continue to look strong before he matches up with Sammy Guevara. So yeah, but all in all, I mean, still a good match with two fantastic workers, but still, everything else aside, I'd rather see Shawn Spears in more of a stable position, being unstable, if you will. But
I think I think Jaeger is peacocking right now.
Huh?
He's
Peacocking?
he's peacocking, but not peacocking.
Yeah.
Peacocking the app,
That sounded
not
so wrong.
peacocking. I know it did sound
It did
wrong
sound
for a
wrong,
second.
but
Like,
when we was
what just
having
happened?
glitches on our Money in the Bank review.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
And we nicknamed it peacocking since Peacock started to act a damn fool during the event. And with you were just kind of frozen sideways. So
No,
it
that's
looked like
weird.
you was having a peacock moment.
That's definitely accurate then.
Uh,
You see,
Now, of course, like you said, Chris Jericho won. And
uh-huh.
both of y'all can help me out a lot more. The announcement MJF didn't really hit hard to me.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
Because
I mean,
I
that would make
don't
sense.
know. I know by name and I know what he was famous for, but I never seen none of his matches. So if y'all want to explain to me more, y'all can let me
Okay,
know.
Nick Gage.
Go ahead and explain to both of us because
Well,
I'm
one.
about in the same boat as Scoot.
Well,
Well,
explain what happened with what MJF.
MJF decided to go ahead and announce right then and there what Jericho's second labor is going to be. And he announced it was going to be, I believe he said street fight.
Hardcore.
Yeah, no, hardcore match. But
Okay,
firstly, he
hardcore match.
announced how now he can no longer have any outside help either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, of
But
course, makes more sense in this because, of course, having it be a hardcore match, all rules out the door. So
mhm.
now, and of course, you would expect MJF to say, you know what, hey, it's going to be a hardcore match, but you can't use, any hardcore rules on your end. But this was perfect that he didn't say that because it helped. It made his next introduction make that much more sense. Why it wouldn't even matter if Jericho didn't have rules or could be full on hardcore with this, because his opponent that he announced shocked the fuck out of me because I didn't realize that this was even going to happen. But he introduced to the world of AEW casuals around that were watching to Nick Gage. For those of you who don't know Nick Gage is the current GCW champion.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Nick Gage is in the same vein as New Jack, with being just batshit fucking crazy in terms of
And I
just like,
mean, he did go to prison for robbing a bank too.
No mask, apparently.
So
Nick Gage is the hardcore of the hardcore. I implore anybody to go and watch any GCW match featuring Nick Gage, and you can tell me if you still think Sami Callihan is super hardcore. That
I never thought that.
Well, I mean, there's people that still do, but
I mean, his match with Penta was pretty ridiculous.
Brutal, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, it makes a lot of sense once you kind of think about it, because Moxley went to GCW within the last month and a half, I believe, and confronted Nick Gage.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Matt Cardona, who was actually having a match with Nick Gage this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. He's defending his title against Matt Cardona. And after, I believe it was Don Callis that made a post about Kenny and saying how he was like the most hardcore or something after this match that he had with Sami Callihan. And Nick Gage invited Kenny to wrestle him the next night after he wrestles Matt Cardona. He said, Matt Cardona Saturday, Kenny Omega Sunday, ?
Jeez.
Yeah. This as soon as they announced Nick Gage and he came out, I was like, I can't wait to see this match. Because I want to know how far they're willing to let this shit go on AEW.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to handcuff. I don't think they're going to handcuff anything with this shit. I think they're going to let this shit go. And we are going to see some bloody shit. I don't know how bloody Jericho is willing to get. Or if Nick Gage is going to be the one just taking everything. But at the same time, this is a double-edged sword because, this could potentially make Jericho look good in the labors of Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing you don't want to do is that you don't want to cut the balls off, so to speak, on a current champion in another promotion and make them look less than.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because so I especially if he's got a marquee match this weekend, it's for GCW.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. It's really hard to say what the fuck's gonna happen.
It's gonna have to be a very convincing win for Jericho.
Yes.
Like
yes, absolutely.
There has to be something or everything done. Side note, Nick Gage was the other guy that was mentioned in the whole Cage Page Ramalong match. Was that Nick Gage was like special guest referee or something? But hey, now he could be a full-on participant,
right?
I don't know if they want that though.
Oh,
well,
no.
I guess we can also fast forward because Jericho has said, "Okay, that's fine. I'm not coming as the Inner Circle's Chris Jericho. I'm coming as the Painmaker, Chris Jericho."
For those of you that don't know, this is the iteration of Jericho that has beaten people like Hiroshi Tanahashi in New Japan, Tetsuya Naito, Evil, and I'm not just trying to like echo what Excalibur said. These are champions.
Yes.
These are IWGP champions of New Japan. And
shout out to Naito and Evil. I mean, not Naito and Evil. Naito and Sonata being tag champions.
Yes, big shout out to that. But this is a Jericho that also faced Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom as well.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I kind of am too, like I said, mainly because I want to see. I mean, of course, our favorite wrestling manager doesn't too much care for the deathmatch style thing because I know he's definitely had some choice words to say about Nick Gage. That's why I was like, I've never seen a Nick Gage match. I've only ever seen highlights of one of his matches, and that's when he had that match against David Arquette. Which looks brutal as fuck, but
yes.
Other than that, that's the only match. Because I think I even heard an interview. I can't remember whose podcast I heard where David Arquette was on there, and he was talking about that match. But yeah. Oh, it was Jericho. Talking Jericho. Okay. It was a Talking Jericho, and he had Arquette on there because this was Arquette was talking about how he was trying to go on his like redemption tour.
Yeah.
And one of the matches he mentioned was the him and Nick Gage match, and how Nick Gage almost like cut his throat for real with all the all the light bulb tubes and everything.
Yeah.
That his throat was almost cut like legitimately. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how that plays out next week.
Yeah, I cannot wait. One thing I can probably wait for though is this feud and potential probably rematch between Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Because you had Team Taz in the back talking about, you know, his win and all this other shit, the same cliche shit, and then you had Brian Cage in an interview that didn't really need to happen. Like, you should have just had him come out on the mic and be pissed off, or then try to fight somebody. That should have been it. But as far as putting him to talk, that's what you had Taz for. You know,
Brian
you don't
Cage
need him.
Go ahead.
No, you just don't. You don't need him to talk at this point. Just have him go out and have matches or fuck somebody up. Simple as that.
No,
Yeah.
his little promo there kind of rang deaf to me, because watching. No, not only because of like how it was, but during I think it was Elevation. Yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs had a great match where, well, I mean, it was a squash match like a motherfucker, but he keeps on using his new finish. I guess it's a new finisher, that freaking spine buster like he put on Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished his match just with that. But they cut to him a little bit afterwards, and he's sitting in the back going, Cage, I think right now you just need to stay home, bud. You don't need to be here right now. You just need to just take your loss, lick your wounds. Just we'll see you later.
Yeah, he should have stayed off TV for a little bit longer. Like, he shouldn't have been back the very next week. You should have let Team Taz, Ricky Starks, like, have their moment, and then just kept Cage off maybe for like a few weeks. Yeah, and then have him try to come get like revenge or some shit. But yeah,
like,
I don't.
I mean, I like that he foreshadowed his involvement. Like, oh, they said they're gonna have a celebration or like a party for him winning the FTW belt. I love parties. That's nice, but at the same time, you shouldn't have done that with like a backstage interview. Maybe done like a little vignette.
Yeah.
Something.
Or he could have just showed up. But my thing is, like, when I heard that,
exactly,
it sounded too WWE to me. Like, oh, you're gonna have a celebration, I'm gonna come crash it. It's like, we've seen this trope a number of times before in a lot of other places. This just isn't necessary. But, you know, hey, they could prove us wrong and do something cool. But I'll look at it like the same thing with like the Kip and Penelope Penelope Ford wedding shit. It's like, it's not really necessary. I don't need it. But I digress.
Maybe she's gonna. I'm saying maybe, because I don't know. I don't know if Thunder Rosa is gonna be her next opponent yet, but maybe that's who they're gonna build as Britt Baker's next opponent. But is she even in the rankings yet?
Thunder Rosa.
No. Penelope Ford.
Oh,
no, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker is happening. That's gonna happen. I don't know when.
Penelope Ford is not. Yeah,
that could be why she's having matches right now.
I mean, but at the same time, it still hasn't reset yet either.
Fair.
Because Nyla's still number one. Thunder Rosa, Ty Conti, Chris Statlander, and Sheeta are all still on there.
Could be Ty, who had a great match with Serena Deeb. Like, tag match with Serena Deeb, my bad. Odd pairing, but good match.
Oh, look, I'm always down for a good fucking match.
Oh yeah.
With Ty Conti. But yeah, from there we actually get the Elite Hunter Frankie Kazarian finally get in the ring with somebody from this new elite in the form of Doc Gallows. I
also teased on Elevation. Yeah.
I didn't expect him to actually lose. I thought he was going to take this from
the dumbest fucking shit. How for weeks you had this man, quote unquote, torment the Elite, and he lose to people who ain't even signed with the company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, he lost? I was like, oh, okay.
So it's just no, like that's killing his momentum as like this, to come into this new character, because at the same time you just had Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson win the tag titles. They're on a high right now. That he could have afforded a loss. It was already expected.
It was
expected. Singles.
Now, the one thing that could potentially happen, which I forgot who I heard it from, and I apologize that I'm not giving credit, but it didn't come from me. It came from somebody. I can't remember who. But they stated that what if Kazarian is the person that's supposed to take the Impact titles off of Kenny?
Huh.
And if that's the case, then him losing here is a nice misdirect, because nobody would really see it. They wouldn't, because again, Kazarian is over here in AEW, but of course he does have his ties with TNA/Impact because of how much of a staple he was over there.
Yes, he did.
So, we could potentially see a situation where we get a Finn Balor-esque return to Impact for Kazarian.
And he could just get that Impact title off of Kenny.
So,
well, speaking of, that was the after effects of this match after the Good Brothers put the extra little beat down on Kazarian. Kenny O and that other guy came out together.
That other guy.
Yeah, Kenny had some supervillain dialogue this time. Which I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm telling you, man, he's going back. Well, aside from the supervillain speech, he's definitely channeling like Evolution era Triple H.
Yes.
And I think it sealed it when he put on that freaking mustache that he's got on right now.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But, of course it led to Hangman coming out and was like, hey, and I love the way Kenny was like, Hangman, I don't know if you just drunk, it's stupid, but it's like 3 or 4 of us, and it's only you. And I love the way he just like hand calluses his drink, like, hold this, I got business.
Yeah, I like that that's his thing, because I remember what the first person he did to was Ricky Starks.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, hold this for me, I got business. Of course, he was getting beat down, and of course, the Dark Order with the save.
With the save, indeed.
Now they did show the graphic, and it's Evil Uno, Grayson, and Reynolds and Silver are the 4 Dark Order members.
Okay.
But I feel like that also sealed it when they came to back him up.
Yeah.
It was specifically those 4, and not gonna lie, I got pretty damn happy seeing Johnny Hungy get back in that ring.
So those are the 4 that's going to join Hangman and Kenny and the Elite. And apparently the match is next week, which is even better.
Yeah, and the matchups make sense too, because you got, Kenny and then tag team, and then you have Hangman and a tag team. So
yes.
Yeah. So now the question is here, because Hangman made that stipulation that if they win, of course, Hangman gets his title shot, but they get a shot at the tag titles. So what if he throws in, I said the tag titles, but I'm saying both tag titles.
I was just thinking that.
Ooh.
Silver and Reynolds can get the Impact, and Uno and Grayson can get AEW.
Because then nobody's left out at that point.
Yeah.
So, and I'd be happy with all those matchups.
Yeah.
So, fuck yes. Fuck yes.
However, that's still quite the mismatch with Silver and Reynolds up against the Good Brothers.
No, but it's good. It will make sense though, because you get Gallows and Anderson, being the big man heels against the smaller team, And then you get the Bucks being able to do heel tactics against a bigger Uno. And then, of course, so it's just book that shit now, AEW. I want to see
I
it.
want to see it. Let's do it. I want to see it.
We'll get a preview of it next week, for sure, in that full-on 10-man tag match. But from there we get this beautiful segment with FTR, with Tully, and Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
This was short and sweet, and it ended short in a fantastic way because, of course, you have FTR going in and then talking about how, they all, grew up poor and all this other shit. And then you have Ortiz get on the mic and basically tell them, you don't know this, y'all. Y'all think you know this, but this is, y'all haven't been here. Y'all don't know what it's like. And then, of course, Santana getting the fucking gold star every time. Basically,
I think they edited his promo wrong.
You think so?
Yeah, because he was pulling out the pictures, and next thing you know, it just cuts right back to FTR. I think they did a little bit of weird editing with Santana's part.
Yeah, that's fun because the way that I was looking at it is that when he was pulling out the pictures and doing that, to me, when I saw it, it was almost like FTR basically being like, "Man, fuck all the sap shit. We just finna get it on right now. Fuck all you." But now that you've said that, Scoot,
it looked like it was edited weird.
It does kind of come off like that because in that split second in the beginning when it did happen, I was like, wait, but then I was like, all right, that's how they want to end it. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's going down next week as well. So
next week is gonna, because that's wait, what is next week a special event?
Fight for the Fallen.
Next week is also a special event.
Okay. And we also
then it's like they're homecoming to Jacksonville after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they keep announcing that that's going to be the last time they're going to be in Jacksonville for a while.
I mean, hey, I'm all for it. Jacksonville's had enough as it is. They're good. Yeah, Daly's place has been
had a whole year
used
and a half.
We also get some weird fucking vignette, for Cody and fucking Malachi. Which
when was that match going to take place?
I think it's next week.
Is it? Or was it for the homecoming?
I think it's next week.
It's gonna be a packed show next week.
Right?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Oh, let me see if I.
But yeah, I mean, with that vignette that they showed, that vignette did a disservice to this whole feud because all that did was show how badly booked this feud is because it's really off of a kick to Arn Anderson. And basically, I mean, for the build itself, like it just did not have enough time. Like this is something that felt completely rushed, and it shouldn't have been.
Like
I think
the last one.
Yeah, and
so it's in a pattern with Cody here.
I think he's trying to get all his shit in before he like goes off to do his thing, which I think that's just dumb. I think you should have just waited and then just had something planned a long time ago.
Sorry, it's the homecoming show.
Okay, so it's not next week.
Yeah.
See, who could Malachi have been feuding with right now instead of Cody?
Especially if he's being a heel, who would make? I mean, Darby would make sense, but I don't think that would make sense this soon after the Ethan Page thing.
Yeah. You could have done Jungle Boy.
I was thinking that too, but at the same time, I still wouldn't want Jungle Boy in something that, especially after he had his big feud with Kenny that he lost in, because he would have to lose this.
Yeah.
It would have to be somebody like completely in the middle that was still a fan favorite, but had fuck.
Maybe that's the whole. Maybe that's the corner they were backed into, is that they really had nobody else to give him a feud with for his debut.
Let's see, because Hangman, no. Andrade, hell no, not now.
Well, especially after what's happening with Andrade now.
Yeah, Christian, no.
I mean, he did have a match where he kind of settled things with Matt Hardy, so.
I mean, Chris would make sense on a certain aspect, but I don't think so.
Yeah, fair.
Eddie Kingston. No, I'm going through names of people that actually, you know what? He could have gone against Dustin to set up for Cody when he came back.
True.
Because everybody else, yeah, there's really not anybody who would have been high enough on anything at this point to give him a run for his money to help him like boost up. Pac would have made sense.
Yeah.
Pac would have made a lot of sense. If Scorpio Sky was a face at the time or right now, that would have made a lot of fucking sense. Trent would make some sense. But yeah, you might be right. I think it was maybe for the fact that they just didn't have anybody right now.
And it was just like, fuck it, Cody.
Yeah.
Do it. Do the job.
But speaking of Cody and this whole shit, QT Marshall had, vignette with the factory, which I don't know
this completely.
Where Anthony Ogogo has just not been around. I don't know where he's at, if he's hurt or what.
Maybe he went back to the UK.
I'm not interested in any of this. I was okay with QT for a second, but with them doing this whole like bullying thing where they're just like pouring drinks on Tony Schiavone's head, and now he's feuding with Tony Schiavone for some reason. No.
Stupid.
I don't want anything to do with it like at all.
So this could be setting up some kind of debut for somebody, or a push for somebody who's gonna like rescue Tony Schiavone.
That'd be interesting.
I could see that. Maybe that'll. But yeah, I'm still not behind like the whole fact.
Maybe Dustin, or maybe just like bring Dustin back to TV.
That's a missed opportunity. They should have done that shit a long time ago. Better not.
I completely agree. However, on Monday, or was it Tuesday? Anyway, on one of the darks, Dustin cut a promo and had a match with Aaron Solo of the Factory. So, I don't know. I guess they're still keeping it relevant just off TV.
See, this is the weird thing, is that now this is the second time that AEW, if they're going in this direction, this is the second time that AEW has done something where they kind of missed the mark on a feud and now they're working backwards.
Yeah.
Because look, the whole thing with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle, it worked out for them in this way because right now everything is okay. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to work in the same way with this whole Factory and Nightmare Family thing, because it's not as interesting as all the players within both the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. So no, I don't want any of it. Even now, I just don't.
You know what? The more we're talking about it, I'm getting more convinced that it's going to be Dustin to come out and like save Tony Schiavone.
And I like Dustin, but I don't. Matter of fact, just have Dustin and Malachi Black feud. Just give me that. I'll be okay. I'll be okay with that.
Maybe that after his match. But shit, who knows?
Who the fuck knows, man? No more Factory.
1,000% on on your side about it. It's what I've been saying from the get-go. Dustin should have been the guy in the spotlight for this whole QT Marshall bullshit.
The whole time.
But going from something trash to something very fucking good. Darby Allin versus Wheeler Yuta. And no, I am not talking about this goddamn match because it is not what I meant when I said something good. This match was all right. This is cool. But this whole match was built around the fan service that happened outside the ring. We got the most chill, the most lackluster super kick party outside the ring. And this is where I take back some of the stuff that I said about the whole Sting situation. Because here's the problem. Sting should have been brought back, and I know they had this plan. I know they wanted this to happen this way, but Sting should have been brought back with fans in full attendance because that's technically where he would work best.
Mm-hmm.
And to sit there and to give Cassidy the rub that he didn't need, he's got a rub all his own, but to give him that moment and to have Sting work like this, cool. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this more so because of how the involvement with the fans and how they were behind this shit. Cool. But the match, though, it was what it was.
I mean, it didn't really make sense to me that you'd have somebody from Best Friends going up against Darby Allin.
Yeah, it was. It was almost like the same thing with the whole like Sammy Guevara thing against Wheeler Yuta. It just, I don't know if they're trying to build something to where it's like, yo, we want you to go up against these guys to help build your experience, while you're being trained by, Chuck Taylor.
Yeah.
It's out of left field. But one thing I did notice, which was weird to me, was once the whole stuff was happening outside the ring with Cassidy and Sting, Darby was calling out the Sting for some reason, which again, I don't know if it's meant for something else, but it was just fucking weird because it's not like they were like messing around with the match itself. They were just outside the ring. So I don't know if this is going to be a situation where Darby maybe potentially pulls himself from Sting because maybe he feels like, he's taking attention away, or maybe he feels like he's interfering too much. I don't know. But that whole little interaction was just weird to me for a second, but it raised my eyebrows. So, but of course, Darby goes over. I don't know if any of you saw anything different, because I mean, anybody watching this should have known Darby was going to go over. So, yeah. But what else happened? I think, there wasn't there a promo from Miro.
There was a great.
Wait! Don't forget, Blade came out there and decked Orange with the nuts.
Oh yeah. Because they're supposed to have a match later on, so he was getting one up over on Cassidy. So, and he did. He decked him real good, real good. But yeah, Miro and I'm sorry if I can't recap his whole promo because I barely remember. I remember seeing him on TV, but I remember I was engaged in something else, so I never brought it back to go and watch it to see what else he said. But it's Miro. It's fucking Miro, but here's the thing: it's just the character work on it and how they're treating him as not only as a champion, but as his character in general, because he's not somebody that has to wrestle every single week. No. He himself just has his presence, and when you think about it, say what?
So you're gonna make me pull up that promo.
Him himself is just I'm glad he's doing the work that he's doing because I mean, if he would have came out and then just started like defending this belt every week, kind of in the same vein as Cody or Darby,
Or even
it
nobody
would
Brody Lee.
yeah it would have just seemed like rinse and repeat. And I'm glad he's not doing it, but I'm glad he's having a presence on every single show with these monologues that he's given, with all these promos that he's given, and making him relevant in his own right and just building his character, because it's completely undoing everything that the whole gamer shit was when he was with Kip, and it's making that non-existent. And I appreciate that. So again, a huge another good shout out to fucking Miro for doing fantastic work.
I mean, some of the highlights was, yeah, there were other TNT champions before me, but I'm gonna be the last one. And the fact that he has to fight somebody at the homecoming show, he didn't say who, but yeah, the Redeemer,
God's favorite champion.
God's favorite champion.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Right?
We go from that to the AEW Women's Championship match.
Oh,
Doctor,
here it goes. Sorry.
What's up?
Yeah, to Scoot's effect. Yeah, he was just pretty much talking about champions prior to him, saying it's like they didn't like I will be taking them with me. Like I will be elevating them as I am elevated or something to that effect. Like he's pretty much giving them like, hey, good champions, whatever, but and they had their day, but I will be, like Scoot said, like the last one.
God's favorite champion.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. It's Miro, man. I swear, when he gets into a notable feud, I'm gonna be all over that shit. Because I know it's gonna be somebody fan fucking tastic. Fingers crossed. But we get to Britt Baker defending her title against Nyla Rose. And of course, Nyla came out with Vicky Guerrero, no surprise there. But Britt Baker came out with Cheeks McGee, Rebel, not Reba. Begging the question, who wears short shorts? Reba wears short shorts.
Reba does wear short shorts.
But that's not important. What is important is how over again Britt Baker continues to be. When they get to fucking Britsburg,
oh, that crowd's gonna lose their mind.
It is gonna be CM Punk Chicago-esque.
Yes.
Yeah, but regardless of that, this another good match from these two. I think I may have liked their first match or their most recent match before this better, because I think the match they had in the in the tournament, I think I liked that one better. Not to say this one was bad. I just felt like they had more to fight for in that previous match than in this one. And at the same time, I also think I went into the other match not really expecting much because of the fact that they hadn't really just wrestled one-on-one, and for the fact that I didn't know how the whole heel dynamic was going to work between these two. And when that match happened, I think I was more surprised by how good it was and how well they worked together. And with this, I think I expected that same thing. So me going into this with preconceived expectations may have dialed it down a little for me. But all in all, it's still not a bad match because, again, you had Britt Baker still playing to the crowd, especially with, the nice call to Eddie Guerrero with the whole throwing the belt to Nyla and then falling down. But then, of course, Nyla being around Vicky Guerrero, kind of knowing what's up, throwing the belt back to Britt Baker.
That was a beautiful
and then
spot.
make it exactly. So all of that made sense. But, of course, Britt Baker locks in was it Lockjaw?
Yeah, Lockjaw.
Yeah, locks in Lockjaw, and Nyla taps. So the beautiful thing about this is that Nyla tapped.
Yeah.
So yeah, this works for that because it makes it helps Britt come out of this a lot stronger and more credible of a champion. The fact that she did make Nyla tap, because everybody's seen Nyla get pinned, but nobody's seen Nyla get tapped. So I believe she's the first person to make Nyla tap at this point. So that's perfect on her, and so now she had something else to brag about. I feel bad for whoever, because if she has a match in Britsburg, I feel bad for whoever she goes up against, because whether they're heel or face, they are not getting a pop.
Oh no,
they are getting straight booed. Period. Now I would probably have to boo along with them unless it's Ty Conti or Thunder Rosa or Anna Jay.
Oh man, that'd be I like how the list goes on.
Look, yeah, but yeah, Britt retains, and I mean, who? It's her first fucking defense. Who would even think that Nyla's going over?
Right, like you have to be kind of crazy to think that.
For real, Britt's gonna hold that belt for a very long time. I would be surprised if she lost it anytime this year.
The only way I see her losing anytime soon is if she gets injured.
Hopefully that's not going to happen.
Knock on wood.
I think this might be. I think it's wood. Yeah, I think it's wood. I think I got wood right
now. I mean, we are talking about the AEW Women's Champion, and just in case the people didn't see it, maybe you should probably show them again.
Oh! You mean the champion that also endorsed Tag?
Yeah.
T.A.G.
That champ?
That champ.
Oh wait, no, you must mean this champ.
T.A.G.
No, not that champ. The other one.
The other one.
Silly man.
Yeah.
T.A.G.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. Champ. It was weird. You sometimes you hear it and it almost sounds the same. It's like, oh wait, no, it wasn't this one. It was that one. Good shit. But yeah, DMD for TAG. But we go from this with one Guerrero, and then we get into this highly anticipated on my end, but very fucking awkward segment.
Awkward.
Yeah, there was some things that didn't.
At the very least, right. Because of the ending.
Okay, so now of course, this started off perfectly fine. Andrade comes out. Talks to Tony Schiavone, but this is where the first part of it got kind of weird, because then you said now of course the introduction makes sense, as far as who, because him introducing Chavo Guerrero as his did he say consultant?
Executive consultant or something like that.
Yeah, so having him come out makes more sense to me than Vicky Guerrero. Now, the first part of this awkwardness comes from Chavo, because he didn't come out as a fucking heel. He came out pandering to the crowd and being overly like just, which I'm like, no, you're like Andrade, so you're supposed to be more serious. Like Vicky, had her seriousness with it. Granted, she had her extra shit, but she understood the vibe. Yes. Chavo seems like mismatched for a second. I don't know if it was just like explain. Now, still okay. Then you had Death Triangle come out with Alex A, which that answers that question. So of course now he's associated. So now we got that out the way. Then you have Pac get on the mic, which is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
First time we'd seen him in a while.
Yes. Yeah. Death Triangle as a whole.
By the way.
Yeah. So they all have a back and forth, and then Andrade starts. Andrade starts perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, why do you work for Pac? You should come work for Andrade. And then, of course, Pac retorts back, hey, they don't work for me. We're a family. We work together. They work with me. We are, a unit.
Uh-huh.
And then things start taking a turn for the awkward, because then you have this whole thing where Andrade starts talking in English, which is still not a problem, because he started to talk about, hey, I see you don't have gold on your waist, basically stating the fact that he wants to go against credible people, or for the fact that, what has Death Triangle done for any of you included. But it seems like it got missed along the way, because I think what happened was he forgot his lines in English and started to mess up, and then went and just diverted to Spanish.
Yeah.
But then at that point, then you had Phoenix talking to Pac in his ear, and then you had Phoenix take the mic, and then Phoenix started talking in Spanish, and then you had Penta get on the mic, and Penta started talking in Spanish, and then Andrade's talking in Spanish again, and then you had Chavo get on the mic to basically translate for Pac.
That was where Chavo started sounding a little bit more heel.
Yeah, which was fine.
Like,
and I think,
unlike you, Pac, all right, I'm sorry, it's like for those of you that only speak one language, Pac, like Andrade said, or pretty much Andrade said this and that.
Yeah.
However, I loved when, as usual, when Penta goes off in Spanish, and then Alex just matches the energy involved in that.
Yes.
It's like, Penta says. Like, all right.
Which it works, but I hate the fact that he just translated for Penta and he didn't translate for Phoenix. Like, why are you leaving Phoenix out like that, Alex?
Right.
He's right there. He's right there. But anyway, so clearly we're either getting one of two things. We're either getting a swerve where Penta and Phoenix turn on Pac, and then they're with Andrade, which again, no problem. I would hate for Death Triangle to break up, but or we're gonna get some fantastic matches between Andrade and Penta, Andrade and Pac, Andrade and Phoenix. Again, there is no. Well, I mean, there is kind of a bad one. Like if Penta and Phoenix turn on Pac, then that's a bad. But if each one of them go against Andrade at different points, it's all good. So I guess I hope for the latter.
What if that's how he gets them, is by going in matches and he just acquires them? Boom, 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 boom.
I'd be cool with that too.
Because like Andrade said, he's like, you all work for Andrade. Hey, I know it's cool, man.
He did say that.
Yeah.
I guess even at that point it was still very awkward too when he was saying it, because the way that it came off, it just didn't.
It was almost overconfidence, because he's just like, regardless, you're going to work for Andrade.
Yeah, basically. And then of course you had the whole thing where everybody's jumping out of the ring, and him laughing. Even that was like weird. It was just all just. I wish they would have rehearsed it somewhat, because it just felt just like no.
It did feel awkward.
But yeah, that's where some of the weird stuff was, and then of course you had the Cassidy and Blade match, which again, because of the fact that it's like, what is it for? Like, what's the purpose? It just it makes me check out
It's to keep
because
Cassidy in business, I guess, especially with the fans. He did more in his dark match that he had with damn, I can't remember off the top of my head now. But he definitely, even with fans, like he definitely played more into that because he would actually do the more lackadaisical style that he's known for.
Yeah.
Like he did the little kicks. He did he kept his hands in pockets more. He kept the glasses on, all that stuff. I was surprised that we didn't see that as much against the Blade.
Yeah. That one's. I mean, they had a few spots in this match too. You know, especially the one with Statlander and the one with the bunny, where they both equally had one person hit the other. Still,
I was a little PO'd that Cassidy did not show more concern for Statlander. Not gonna lie.
I peeped that too for a second, but yeah, at that point I was still kind of checked out from the match after seeing that, and then of course Cassidy ends up going over, but then he ends up giving Blade a receipt by taking the brass knucks and then hitting him with the orange punch. So yeah, hopefully this shit is over. I doubt it in some way, shape, or form. It's not, but yeah, I just didn't care for it. But I'm almost grateful for it because what happened after this made up for all the awkwardness, all that the weird match after the main event.
There was one small awkward promo before this.
Oh, which one?
The Christian Cage with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Oh yeah, that and with you saying that, which is one of the reasons why it escaped my mind. Which I thought there was going to be something between like Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, but it seemed like Jungle Boy was more chill this time.
Yeah.
Than when he had looked at Christian Cage when he was on the shoulders of Luchasaurus. So I don't know, but I did like the aesthetic of the nonchalant kind of just chill Jungle Boy though.
Yeah.
It more than likely has a lot to do with grip and leather. Pretty sure.
No, I can't disagree.
I would probably be the same. So, but
see the world through rose-tinted glasses at that point,
right?
Anyway,
but we get to the main event, the Texas death match for the IWGP United States Championship.
Oh boy,
we came into this stating, I mean, last week. Now we stated that if this was going to include Lance Archer, then he had to win this match because it would be a disservice to him if he did not, because of all the L's he was catching along the way, especially for somebody having the push he had in the very beginning, and then basically supposing to be a dominating force. Like, you can't back that shit up. You can't talk shit if you can't back it up, especially if you're just beating jobbers here and there. So,
I mean, not to mention, he has been literally throwing around his competition in Dark and Elevation. Like the last match he had on, I believe it was Elevation. I didn't even get to record his competitor's name. Because there was no entrance, or there, like, what was his name? Justin Robertson didn't even get to announce him because Lance Archer came out tossing his opponent to the ring.
Huh.
And proceeded to layeth the smacketh down like a 10-second match, and then walked away.
Well, see, yeah. Now, hopefully, hopefully moving forward, we don't have to worry about that because,
True.
well, this match in itself showed a lot more of Archer in this regard,
Yeah.
and with Mox coming out with all the steam in the fucking world, with being the at that time the current reigning champ. I don't know if it was because of his walkout or the way that he looked, but it's almost like he was giving off the vibe of like, yo, I'm about to do the job.
Maybe.
But
did you peep that Guile Moxley shirt though?
Yes.
I want it.
Same. But I think that was the last night it was on sale.
No. It's on sale for the week.
Oh, okay.
It's $40 though.
Yeah, they're gonna make sure they get that shit. All the with the fucking. I mean, it's the fucking Street Fighter crossover. So of course that's gonna be money.
Oh, by the way, they also extended the Sheeta versus Cammy shirt.
Yeah, they did that for like another week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of us may get that shirt. We'll see. But but yeah, Mox comes out first, and then good old Lance Archer comes out. And before Lance can get fully in the ring, Mox straight up attacks him.
Yep.
First things first, this match was a lot shorter than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I mean, I guess they can only show so much blood or torture for
you can only
just for
bleed out for so long.
Yeah. And I think for that it just
good match, but it felt like it started off a little lopsided. Like a little too much like Moxley was coming on too strong. At first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like because it almost like heelish tactics for a second. Like with I'm sorry, heel intensity.
Yes.
Heel intensity. I forgot what came out first. I don't know if they brought the fork out first because I know Mox brought it out.
Yeah, I think he brought that up pretty early, man.
Yeah, it was the kendo sticks. That's what it was because
Lance Archer came to the ring with those. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember he threw one and then one was on the outside, and then Mox was like,
"Fuck it!" One and it bounced off the rope.
Yeah, and Mox decided to attack Archer with it. So from there, they're going back and forth. Then the fork getting introduced, and so after watching the Kenny and Sami Callihan match, the fork was used in a different way. Like it was used to what you would think it was going to be used, like scraping across, maybe jab here and there. But Mox basically said, "Fuck all that," and he got the fork and just proceeded to fucking jab like over and over and over. And I'm like, wait, what? Why, Mox? And it wasn't like he was faking that shit. Those were all like legit, like forkings, for lack of a better term. But
I was looking at him do it. and I was like, "What the fork, man?"
That's another one for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good. I'm glad you brought that up too, because then Lance Archer had set up. I don't know if it was Lance or if it was Mox that set up those chairs.
Well, Lance set them up, and no. Moxley set them up initially.
Mox set up the chairs, and normally you would see chairs set up a few different ways, either flat on the ground,
Yeah.
upright, maybe facing each other.
Which is what Moxley did.
These chairs were back to back, upright.
No, that Moxley got countered, got knocked down by Archer, and then no. I had it the other way around. Archer set up the chairs facing each other. Moxley countered, set them up back to back. Then Archer counters again. And to recap from earlier, proceeds to do a move which I will not take.
I will got Mox up for a choke slam and choke slammed him directly on the backs of those chairs.
Right,
stiff as fuck.
Right on the top.
Ain't no room to brace any of that fall.
And I was looking to see, did they cushion the top of the Nope. Nothing.
Mox basically said, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to make it look believable as fuck. And boy, did he.
Oh my.
Because Mox went to pull out an old friend of his from the exploding barbed wire death match.
Oh boy.
His friend, the particle board or old barbed wire. Old barbed wire.
Barbed wire board?
The barbed wire board. There we go. And he placed them on two tables that he set up earlier outside the ring.
Okay, I didn't catch when he set those up.
Yeah, I think he set it up during a commercial break.
Which goes back to my damn point. AEW. Stop doing commercial breaks for main events. At the very least for main events.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mox was the one to pay for this spot as well because he was getting Lance up for the paradigm shift to paradigm shift him on top of said barbed wire board and tables. Lance Archer said, fuck all of that.
Yeah.
And after he had chokeslammed him directly on two chairs, he decided to chokeslam him then through the barbed wire board, through the tables. And here's the problem. One of those boards broke very awkwardly. Out for one. Now, I didn't notice this until Britt had pointed it out because she was just like ew, and I was like, wait, what? It's like because one of the bar, but she was like, no, it's like, but then what? She didn't explain it because then I had caught it, and the barbed wire was literally inside his arm, and it seemed like it was pulling at his skin from the inside.
Oh, I missed that too. Oh no!
I'm going to it.
No.
We
could add that to the list of spots that I'm not taking.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I didn't want to see any more after that. I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. Granted, it was already over at this point.
Yeah.
But when looking at that, it's like I'm not sure what's worse between that and then him and Kenny going through like the springboard of barbed wire.
You see, with the springboard of barbed wire, I gotta imagine some of that, at least some of that is
gimmicked.
Yeah.
That wasn't gimmick last night.
No, it was not.
No,
It was not. It was very visibly not gimmicked.
Because you can see where Mox was bleeding in different spots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he also may need stitches for some of those, judging by how that shit looked. Because fuck all that.
Oh, that's how the chokeslam was set up. Archer took Moxley's fork, proceeded to stab Moxley in the head the same way.
Yeah. This match was surprisingly short, but very, very sweet.
Yeah.
But in all the wrong ways though. Still good though. I mean, hey, I'm never gonna deny myself a brutal match. I just know that I would never put myself in those brutal match situations.
At all.
But
oh, I see it.
Yep.
It's pulling at the skin. Yep, never taking that spot. Nope.
Yep. Definitely no go for me. But that was definitely AEW Dynamite in a nutshell. Again, I enjoy all of Fyter Fest. I look forward to, because I mean, it looks like they're having this fucking uptrend with trying to just beat themselves each week, and I am not opposed to it. So AEW continue to surprise all of us and reward us with all this fantasticness. It's not a word, but I'm using it today. Fantasticness of professional wrestling goodness. And now let's get God's favorite champion in the ring just one time, before he starts making more promos and shit. Just got to see him just wreck shop for a little bit. So yeah. Scoot, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. So wait, you
find
me.
Sorry. Not to interrupt you, Scoot. But we got to also talk about who showed up in the ring after the Murder Hawk Monster won.
Jaeger, take the floor.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, IWGP's own Bullet Club member, and I'm gonna butcher this, Hikuleo. Thank you. I got H and K mixed up there. Or M in there for some reason. Yes, Hikuleo, brother of Tongaloa, and son of King Haku. He was featured earlier of being in attendance, but it was a little earlier before the match announced that he would be challenging whoever won between Moxley and Archer. And they proceed to have the face-off. And for those that don't know, this boy tall.
He tall as shit.
Yes.
Like, Archer stands 6'8", 280 pounds or whatever. He's taller than him. Like, he's got to be an even 7 feet.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. Probably like 6'10", maybe even 7 feet.
He might be 7 feet. Well, matter of fact, no, he's billed at 6'8".
6'8"?
Is he? He's definitely taller than 6'8". I'd say 6'10". Shit, maybe 7 feet. But I'm pretty excited to see this match. I'm pretty sure that Archer's going to come out on top after this.
Yeah.
But this definitely looks like a match that's going to be at the very least entertaining.
Wait, yeah, this is definitely weird because Lance Archer is billed at 6'8" as well. And that is not true. One of these is a fucking lie. Lance is either shorter or Hikuleo is fucking taller.
Hikuleo has to be at least 6'10". I'm looking at him. I'm looking at. I paused at the face-off, and Archer is looking ever so slightly up to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I do look forward to that shit as well because I've never seen him in the ring, so
neither have I, to be honest.
yeah, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, what's another interesting thing for final thoughts. So Scoot, hit him with it.
Dr. Becker, DMD. Can't wait to see where her title reign goes from here. I would definitely say I can't wait to see how this 10-man tag match go next week. I think that's my most anticipated, to see how this 10-man tag is going to go. And of course, the second labor of Jericho. So,
Oh yeah,
those
yes.
are my true final thoughts.
Jaeger, what you got?
First and foremost, Dr. Britt Baker, thank you for being so sweet to us.
Indeed.
Not to infringe on your gimmick or not to do some little counter gimmick in there, but you were really cool with us. Thank you for fulfilling that and becoming and at least a strong acquaintance, if not ally, if not friend of Tag. And well, most definitely a friend of Tag.
Most definitely.
I, like Scoot, am excited to see this 10-man tag match go down. And I'm a little worried on how extreme this match is going to get with Jericho.
Same. We definitely shall see about that. Do I dare say, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD? Dude. I dare say that. Yes. Next time, we see you, maybe, Reba not Rebel, Rebel not Reba. We'll be there.
Would be a welcome sight.
We'll see. But yeah, as far as AEW as a whole, keep doing what you're doing because right now it is fan fucking tastic. You have me highly intrigued, especially with everything that's going on within the wrestling world and all the partnerships and all these layers completely unfolding in every promotion that you're connected to. It's just an overall story that I am very much enthralled in, and it's refreshing. So, and also, if you have Punk and Bryan signed or almost signed, deny. Just deny all of it.
Right.
until we get to there. Don't feed into the fans. Don't let them back into the corner to pressure you to have to just reveal shit. Whatever you envision, do that shit. Period.
I feel that.
But yeah, outside of that, Scoot, where the fuck can these people find you? All the way up.
All the way up on the Scoutical. We saw members of the Pinnacle. The problem was they didn't look up.
Did not.
They didn't look up at all, but they would have looked up. They would have saw me up there just
waving down.
But of course, IG, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok at the ScooterRay. That's why I'm primarily at, especially IG. Of course, you can find me with the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas on the same spots. And you can also hear us on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Podbean, Pocket Cast, wherever else Anchor distributes our podcast. We're there.
Good
Ninja
shit.
Banter. Check us out. That's where we're at. But oh so delightful, Jaeger Bombastic. Where can they find you, good sir?
Well, if you don't see it on the crawl, I guess I'll tell you now. Instagram, TikTok, some Twitter. Although I really just follow people on Twitter. So if you want to follow me and watch me retweet shit, cool. If you want a game with me, it's right there. It's been right here. Jaeger Bombastic. Bam. Oh, but I guess most importantly, fellas, if y'all want to find me, it can be in your ladies' DMs.
Oh, you.
Well then.
And when you do find out that I'm in your ladies' DMs, you can, and you're feeling a little mad, you're feeling a little down about life, feeling a little bit upset. You need somebody to just pick you up, make you feel good, make you feel better.
Who?
I can really only point you in one direction.
Who could that be?
Oh,
that guy.
This guy. Wow. Well, I don't mend hurt egos or bruise pride, but I will help you find some positivity within the realm of negativity. If you need that, you go to Lifestyle One Up, get that daily dose of positivity, get that positive influence to help you find a better you and influence the best you.
The best you.
On all your podcast listening platforms. Google it. You'll find it. I promise.
Googleable.
Googleable. And get that shit on a shirt. But, of course, if you want to shoot the shit, you want to find me, you want to talk about the things that we potentially talk about. Hell, even if you want to ask one of us if you can come and just be on the show, we might let you. Yeah. As long as you're not an asshole. You can be an asshole. You just can't be a certain type of asshole. Because we're all assholes in our own right. But there's a certain threshold you can't cross.
Yeah.
So, but if you do
put it this way, if you want to know that threshold, check out the last episode. Oh, we talked about that threshold with the NXT review.
We did. And still, you Mr. Anonymous, you want to find me. It's right there.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Since we're talking about AEW, of course, fuckbrucemitchell.com still exists.
Absolutely. But of course, Lip Dizzle at your IGs, your Twitters, your Twitches, your TikToks, YouTube, all that good shit.
Did y'all say something about Bruce Mitchell?
I think he did something about Bruce Mitchell. Did you have something to say about Bruce Mitchell?
Fuck that.
Oh, so it was fuck Bruce Mitchell. Am I right?
Yes.
Fuck Bruce Mitchell. Okay, fuck Bruce Mitchell. Got you.
No. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Fuck Bruce Mitchell.
Fuck Bruce Mitchell. Got it. See?
We have to make sure we have it right. Inner circle welcome.
Oh, I think it's like, no, that's a peace sign.
No. That's in the UK. That's in the UK.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. But yeah, to everybody else, we bid you all a nice do. Too sweet to my bros. If you want to see the screen, you go right ahead, people.
Right ahead, hit it with us.
Bam, bam. And as always, until you see us and hear us and feel this presence again, as always, tag the fucketh out.